All right, so the governor of Anambra State, Governor Soludo, has shut down another market in Anambra. This time, he shut down the auto spare parts market for 1 week over the sit-at-home order defiance. I don't know when shop owners and merchants in Anambra when they're going to get the memo that Governor Soludo, a scholar by all means, is not playing games. He means business. Is this an Anambra thing? It kind of seems as if it's just Anambra everywhere that's in defiance of this. Sit at home, which Governor Soludo has actually abolished. It doesn't exist. Merchants are refusing to open up their shops on Mondays as a result of this Nnamdi Kanu's sit-at-home order. So it seems like it's an Anambra thing because people in Abia, Imo State, Enugu, I don't think those ones are affected. They've opened up their shops. I think the locals right now, the shop owners, their argument right now is that there's just not enough security for them to open up their shops on Mondays. But there's general security though. Anytime there's a huge market like that, whether it's in Anambra, Imo, Enugu, it doesn't really matter. When there's a huge market like that, Mondays are known for market openings across the states. There's generally security forces there providing just general security around. I'm assuming that these merchants are looking to be escorted. Are they looking for escorts that's going to escort them from their homes all the way to the market and then sits there and watch them conduct business all day long and then they are escorted back home? Is this what these guys are looking for? Or are they just using this whole sit at home? According to Governor Soludo, they are using it as an excuse to not open up shop. About a month ago, the governor did something that was unconventional. He shut down the Onitsha market for a week. Because of this, and then he said if they didn't open up the following week, he was going to shut down the market again for another week. According to one of the officials there in Anambra State, he said that the state loses roughly $8 million a week as a result of the sit-at-home no order by Nnamdi Kanu. Convicted, by the way. He's in jail right now in Sokoto. Life. Life. When are you going to get the memo? The governor is not backing down. Governor Soludo is not backing down. And he's going to continue shutting them down until they open up shop. I don't understand. Are you going to risk losing your shop? The memo is clear. Open up your shop on Mondays, or you could potentially lose your business. So they're out there playing soccer. They're out there working out. Since when was sit at home only for merchants, meaning opening up your shop? You are still going about your merry way, going about your daily lives. That is what Soludo's argument is. People are shutting down their shops, but then they can go to the soccer field on Monday to play soccer. Or they can open up and sell food stuff on the roadside, but then they can't open up the shops inside of the market on Mondays. It's over. I'm not a security personnel. I'm not in Nigeria. I'm based in the United States. Again, is this an Anambra thing? Because it's not common in Enugu. It's not common in the other six states that comprises the South South. Ebonyi, Abia, Imo, Enugu. Who else am I missing? But it's just Anambra over and over and over again. I'm starting to think it's an Anambra problem. That's what I'm starting to think. But let's see what Soludo said. This is from Channels TV. What do you guys think? Do you stand with him? He's got to make a listen. He's the governor. He's got to have commerce. He's got to have the Anambra needs to be a functioning state. It has to be a functioning state. Anambra needs to generate revenue. And Mondays, Market Day Mondays, that headline, sit at home. Anambra shuts auto spare parts market for 1 week. Courtesy of the man himself, Governor Soludo. He warned that the market may face further closure if the traders fail to comply with his directive to end the Monday sit at home in the state. That's the governor right there. What is this new Auto Spare Parts Association? So wait till the Anambra State government has announced the shutdown of the okay. So these spare parts markets, they have an association called the NASPA, the New Auto Spare Parts Association Market in Nkwonewi, Anambra State. I want to come back and oh, this is a video. Soludo visits Tinubu, says Anambra lost opportunities. Of course they did. $8 million a week. That's not that's not small money to lose in an economy. So he said that the market will remain closed for business for 1 full week, beginning midnight on February 23, 2026. Anambra State government hereby informs the general public that the new Auto Spare Parts Association markets in Nkonewi is closed for business. The market, whose date of closure is effective from midnight today, Monday, the 23rd February 2026, will reopen next Monday, March 2nd, 2026. A statement signed. May reopen. It's not will. What if they don't show up for what if they don't show up on March 2nd? You gotta shut it down again now. You gotta shut it down again. You got to send a message, the best way to get through to them, you gotta hit them in the pockets. How can you be sitting there for the past 3 years losing $8 million a week for the past 3 years? This sit at home thing went into effect in 2023. My issue is this: who allowed it to happen in the first place? Where were these governors? I don't know, was Soludo in power by then? I don't think so, because Soludo came on in May of 2023. Let's see when Soludo first term dates. He's a first term governor. Okay. Charles Soludo began his first term as governor of Anambra State on March 17th, 2022, after winning the November 2021 gubernatorial election. So let's ask now, when did sit at home go into effect? Go into effect. Goodness gracious. The sit at home order In Nigeria, southeastern states was first declared by the pro-Biafran group IPOB in August 2021, with the directive announced to take effect on Monday, September 2021. So this went into effect a year before Soludo took office. Why didn't Soludo shut it down immediately? Why didn't he issue a directive, a state directive shutting it down immediately? Why 5 years later? The order was observed mainly on Mondays and on specific other days tied to court appearances and commemorations. In February 2026, IPOB formally canceled the Monday sit-at-home directive. Wait a minute, 1 second. IPOB has no right to declare or cancel anything. So did IPOB cancel this sit-at-home, or did the governors of the respective states, the southeastern states, cancel the sit-at-home? So according to, ChatGPT is not always accurate. It says in February 2026, IPOP formally canceled the Monday sit-at-home, making Monday. So I'm gonna disagree with ChatGPT here. I think it's the state governors that canceled it. Because remember, Nnamdi Kanu was convicted. They convicted him last month, or was it earlier this month? This is Monday, February 23rd. So he's been sent away, and then some people are still kind of fighting for him, trying to get him released and all that stuff. But I don't think it's IPOP that canceled it. I think it's the state governors that canceled the sit-at-home order. So my question is this: why did it take so long? You know what I mean? After 5 years. Where was Solo doing 2022, 2023, 2024, 2025? You know what I mean? I'm not for sit at home, but at the same time, when you have a group of people like this IPOB trying to take over a state, that's domestic terrorism to me. So my only question to Solodu would be, where were you in 2023, 2024, 2025? And I mean, were they waiting for the conviction or release of Nnamdi Kanu? Is that what they were waiting for? The court outcome of Nnamdi Kanu's case? Is that what they were waiting for? Makes no sense. They were trying to rope in Akwa Ibom State. We're not interested. We're not interested. We're not a part of that stuff. That's my own state where I'm from. So that's my only question for Mr. Soludo. Man, what took so long now? Why did you have to wait all these years? So let's go back to the article. So now that the people have been told to return to the markets, the guys at what do you call it? That other market, Onitsha market, they did comply though, because they weren't going to lose money for nobody. They came back, and now Onitsha market is functioning uninterrupted. Today, Monday the 23rd, Onitsha market opened. But is this auto parts market as the issue at this point? Says here the market whose date of closure is effective from midnight today, Monday the 23rd, 2023, will reopen. Well, like I said, May. Hopefully, these merchants come to their senses and report to work and open up their shops. The state government explained that the closure of the markets followed low compliance. So I think some people opened and then some didn't. But if they're in an association like they are, the responsibility rests on the head of the leadership of NASPA, the New Auto Spare Parts Association. They should be the ones telling their merchants, you have got to open up your business. You have got to open up business, otherwise they're going to shut us down. There's just no ifs, ands, or buts about it. There's only two outcomes here. We either open up our shops or we get shut down. Those are the only two outcomes. The order to close the market was handed down on behalf of the governor by the special advisor to the governor on trade and markets, Chief Everest Uba, in the company of the Commissioner for Information Law, MEFOR, and special advisor to the governor on security, AVM Ben Chiobi, retired, and Newi Mayor, Echezona Anazodu. It also advised traders and customers to avoid the market until Monday, March. Interesting. Okay. 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 Week long shutdown. So you see, to them, the sit at home doesn't apply on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. It only applies on Monday. So the governor is saying, nope, you can't come to work on Tuesday. You cannot come to work on Wednesday. You can come to work Thursday, Friday, or Saturday. I think the market in general is closed on Sundays. And then when March 2nd rolls around, and if your asses are not open, guess what? We're gonna put the padlocks on the gates and lock it up again for another week. They're gonna open up on May 2nd. Same thing that happened now with the Onitsha market. After they got that first full week, no income, no revenue, nothing. Man, the shop owner is gonna start thinking, man, I got bills to pay. It's not as if the rent stops. They still gotta pay rent and leases for their shops. So this is a good way to actually hit them in the pocket where it hurts. It says it also advised traders and customers to avoid. So customers also, well, anyway, customers can't really go if the auto mechanic market isn't open. So what I mean here, the market may face further closure if compliance is not substantial by next Monday when the market reopens. Meanwhile, normal activities have resumed in Anambra State on Mondays following the governor's order late January 2026. This is the Onitsha market shutdown that I was talking about. Soludo had in January ordered the immediate shutdown of the Onitsha markets. Those ones, they got the memo quick. They got the memo fast because they reopened the following week. They reopened the following week. Soludo said the government could not stand by while a few individuals willfully undermine public safety and disregard official directives meant to restore normalcy. Someone said, I am just from Oka. Everywhere is open. Government offices are open. Markets are open. Banks are probably open. And people are going about their businesses. Then you come down to the main market. The once reputed market as the largest market in West Africa at one point. No more though. Anyone who has not opened, I mean, for main markets of all markets to be shut down, not SHOT. I'm sure they meant SHUT, shut down. I know that people have done this sit at home on Mondays for quite some time now. And as they say, an abomination that lasts a year becomes culture. Good point. See? As a matter of fact, a year is even too long. An abomination that lasts a month becomes culture. To them, it's like this sit at home now is becoming part of the southeastern state culture. Let's just, even though it's over, even though it's been abolished by the state, we're still gonna sit at home. It's not a national holiday. You gotta open up your shops. Plain and simple. There's no way you can't defend this. You gotta open up. They got to break it. But my thing is, man, 4 years, 5 years, you let it slide. People stayed home for 5 years. And then all of a sudden, okay, Mr. Soludo, it's going to take a little bit of time though, but I like what you're doing. I like this action. of shutting them down. I like it. But it's going to take a little bit of time for them to break that behavior and break that culture. You know? He says here, this can no longer go on in Anambra. Are you hearing me? Gotta love this. And I will tell you this, you either decide that you want to trade here or you go elsewhere. So the directive is plain and simple. Open up or lose your shop or take that thing elsewhere. Maybe you take it to Enugu, but there's no state at home in Enugu now. All these other states. It's just always Anambra. He says here, going forward, any shop that is not open will be locked for 1 week. This was the Onitsha market. Parts of Anambra State have for years observed a Monday sit at home that disrupted commercial and social activities, leaving markets in April 2022. Okay. So this answered my question. So when Soludo came into office in 2022, he did formally declare that the sit at home order was over. And then he announced an amnesty for youths in hideouts and promised a peace and reconciliation committee. So if he declared that the sit-at-home order was over in 2022, then I don't think enforcement was really there. Because it wasn't as if they shut down the stores back then either. They were trying to work out some sort of like crazy. Also, why would you amnesty for domestic terrorism? Come on, Nigerians. You can do better. We shouldn't be giving any amnesty to nobody. Follow the law. Follow the law of the land. It's as simple as ABC. You see, when you start doing this whole amnesty thing, it's kind of almost like you're negotiating with domestic terrorists, what you're doing. There's no grounds for negotiation. We ain't negotiating jack. We are not negotiating nothing. You know? Let's see what Soludo says. I remain grateful. Soludo visits Tinubu State House. Merchants in the southeastern states of Nigeria, open up your shop. The man that illegally directed you to shut down your shops on Monday, he is in prison, convicted of terrorism. He's in jail for life. He's not coming out. It's over. He's not coming out. I really hope that these people listen to what Governor Soludo is doing and go about their lives, go about their daily businesses. I really hope that they do that. It will be a pity if they didn't, though, because losing eight, nobody today in 2026, no economy in 2026 can afford to lose $8 million a week, period. All right, that's that. That is that. I will be back tomorrow. I think I'm going to close up shop. I'm done today with lives today. I'll be back tomorrow. Not sure what I want to talk about tomorrow, but be sure to tune in. Thank you guys. It's like every time I go on live, I get subscribers. I really appreciate you guys for subscribing. And if something like this resonates with you, you want to keep in touch with what's happening in Nigeria, US Nigeria enterprise markets is what we cover. This is the platform you want to be on. Be sure to subscribe. So you're notified. And make sure that you hit that notification bell. If you don't know who I am, my name is Richard Barricat. I'm a Nigerian-born, US-based entrepreneur. I'm recording this in Las Vegas, Nevada. It's my principal residence out here in the US. All right. I will catch you guys on the next one. Thanks for tuning in.